Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston Station, we are ready for the event.
Space.com, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Space.com. How do you hear me?
And station's got you loud and clear. Welcome aboard, Claire.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Did you all have a good Christmas and New Year's in space?
Almost any day up here is a great day. So there were wonderful holidays, and the Christmas holiday was made extra special because we got our crewmates that joined us and doubled the crew size.
How are you all feeling about the upcoming SpaceX Dragon visit to the station? Is that a pretty significant milestone?
Yeah, we're excited about that. Anytime you have a visiting vehicle coming by, that's an exciting day, and it's going to be packed with all kinds of supplies for us, and it's sort of the first of many train wagons coming up here to bring us supplies. And one of the neat things about the SpaceX vehicle is that it will allow us to take significant payloads down, which is a real important thing. Since we no longer fly shuttles, we can't take anything sizable back down from space station without just it burning up. And SpaceX will be our route to getting all these scientific samples and broken pieces of hardware that need to be refurbished and things like that back to the ground.
Well, some of our readers here at Space.com have written in with some questions of their own for you guys. So if you don't mind, I'd like to ask some of these, and whoever likes to can take a crack at answering. Our reader, P. Edward Murray, wrote in to thank the commander for sharing that wonderful photo of Comet Lovejoy. What was it like to see that amazing view of the comet?
Yeah, Claire, it was spectacular. I think I said this to the first folks at Detroit News that I talked about after it happened. It was just one of those cases where we're just very lucky to be in a certain position at a certain time. We had just finished a night pass, and we were coming over Australia, and the sun was about ready to come up, and there was this incredibly bright dark green glow that was, at least from my perspective, glow that was extending up from where the sun was about to emerge above Earth's limb. And at the time I had no idea what it was, and I didn't even have the presence of mind to take but just a very quick camera shot that day. And it was the next morning that I realized and learned from Houston, the specialist there, that it was a comet that wasn't expected to survive a close pass to the sun. And over the next several days, we just had some wonderful opportunities to get some great imagery of it.
Neat. Well, another reader named Will Dean wrote in to ask, how does microgravity and being in space affect your dreams while you're sleeping?
Yes, well, so far my dreaming is still like on Earth. In the first days you arrive, you don't sleep that good. I mean, actually, you don't want to sleep. It's too exciting to be here. But yeah, the dreams themselves didn't change in my case. Maybe the others have other experiences.
When I'm on Earth, I'll often dream about flying. And now that I'm up here and I can fly, I'll be dreaming about walking. And I guess it just shows that even in your dreams, there's a certain measure of discontent.
Reader named Elizabeth Byrne wrote to ask if any of you have made any New Year's resolutions.
That's a great question, and we're just kind of looking at each other. We've been so busy, even through the holidays here with handover and so forth, that we really hadn't, at least I and Andre and Don hadn't really had a chance to make any New Year's resolutions. I guess if we had one to make, it would be to find time to spend a little bit more quality time in the windows in the cupola and in some of the nadir-facing windows to look at planet Earth from here.
Brandon Murray asks, just how bad is the space junk issue in relation to the safety of the ISS and its crew?
Yeah, sure.
I thought they were talking about the junk inside a station.
Yeah, the space debris is of course an issue in space, but not so much for the station. A lot of the debris is at different altitudes than where the space station is, and on top of that, a lot of the big pieces are followed by ground. And so, if any thing is coming close to us, we can even make evasive maneuvers. This is very rare, and it's very conservative. But so we are in a very safe condition here at this altitude.
And Robert J. Carhart asks, are there any job opportunities up there?
Well, we're just saying, I think there's an awful lot of work to do, number one, and whereas a lot of folks want to fly in space station, would love to be astronauts and cosmonauts, and I would absolutely encourage them to do that. I think the future is very bright for young folks right now that are looking to get into this business, but we need legions of folks on the ground that help design these vehicles, that help design and operate a lot of these experiments remotely, and are helping to build the next generation of rockets and spaceships to carry us beyond low Earth orbit. So I, for one, am very optimistic about the future, and I think it's a great opportunity for young folks right now to join the force and help us down the road.
A reader named Jeffrey Dean Root writes in to ask, what are some examples of some of the science research you're doing on the space station that will help prepare us for manned missions beyond low Earth orbit?
Okay. Well, one set of experiments that we're working on are experiments we do on ourselves. They're human experiments, and Andre is a living example of that right now, where he's covered with little pieces of computer and pumps and things that continuously monitor his blood pressure, and from that, it's actually beat-to-beat blood pressure, and from that you can determine the cardiac work that your heart is putting out for whatever mode of exercise you happen to be doing. So that's one experiment that we're doing in terms of the human life studies. The other things that we're doing up here is what I refer to as engineering research. It's mundane things like how to make a toilet that works, and how to take your urine that you collect in your toilet and process that and make it back into drinking water. And we're doing that right now on station. We've got 3 big chunks of equipment. One's a toilet, one's a processor, and the other's a galley, and they're all hooked together. And you'll go into the toilet, and the machines will whir and wind and grumple, and then you go and make yourself a bag of coffee. And it's the kind of technology we need to have if we're going to go away from planet Earth for long periods of time.
John Reed asks, given the chance, would any of you volunteer for a 2-year mission to Mars?
I, for one, absolutely.
Yes, me too. I would like to bring my family though.
Sign me up.
So we know that the space shuttle is retired by now, but do you anticipate this year will be any less busy on the space station?
Well, all of us that had the privilege and pleasure to fly in the shuttle all feel a little bit upset that we've lost that great asset. But the fact is the shuttle's done the thing that it was exquisitely well designed to do, and that is to build a nearly million-pound space station in low Earth orbit. So in addition to Hubble and many of the other things that it's done, one of the key things that the Hubble was unique to do was to be able to actually launch huge payloads, bring them up here with an onboard robotic arm and an onboard EVA capability, spacewalk capability, allow us to build this incredible facility. Now the job for us is to actually put it to use to answer all these questions so that we can go back to the moon and stay, so we can go on to Mars, asteroids, and so forth. And space station is, for a lot of the U.S. science, is very well designed and very well equipped to do that. But now we've got a very busy road ahead of us between now and 2020, or perhaps as late as 2028, to answer all those questions so we can take the next steps.
Well, thank you all so much, and we wish you safe flying.
Claire, thank you. It was a pleasure talking with you today, and all the best to you and your readers.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the Space.com portion of the event. Please stand by for a voice check from Fox News Radio.
Station, this is Fox News Radio. How do you hear me?
Fox News, International Space Station, we've got you loud and clear. Welcome aboard, Evan.
Thank you very much. Good to talk to you all again, and I hope everything is going well up there. First of all, I have to ask you, we're seeing a video feed of you, and Commander Burbank, Mr. Pettit, you have something strapped to your leg. What is that?
It's called a knee board. It's something that pilots wear when you're sitting in an airplane, so you have a pad of paper and a pencil at your disposal. Here in weightlessness, it serves as a tool belt, at least for me. So I've got the pad and the paper, and I carry a pair of scissors, 2 different flashlights, and a multi-purpose tool. So that way, when I come up to something, I'm prepared to either repair it, work on it, eat it, or take notes about it.
So that's where you keep your lunch. Gentlemen, I have a question, especially for you, Commander Burbank. The Dragon from SpaceX is scheduled to arrive, maybe in about a month. This is going to be the first non-state-sponsored, non-taxpayer ship, if you will. It's the ship you and your colleagues would likely use to get from to and from the ISS. How exciting is something like this? We've moved away from the taxpayer-funded ship that's going to do this, essentially this taxi and trucking route. What is that like to be there for this?
Well, I think for all of us, we're very excited about it. Number one, for the sake of the space station, that's critical capability. It's the ability to resupply station and to return critical hardware, payloads, or hardware that's failed that we need to get on the ground to analyze and perhaps refurbish, to be able to do that. And down the road, it also affords capability to actually deliver crew to space station, to and from space station. It's one of several companies that are actually working on that right now. So for all of us involved in that, I think that's very, very exciting. And anytime we have a visiting vehicle, be it a shuttle, be it a cargo vehicle, be it a Japanese HTV or European ATV or Progress vehicles, all those things are exciting. They're dynamic events. There's something from the operational standpoint as pilots and engineers that we're all very interested in. All the vehicles that come to space station right now, like Dragon, like the HTV, and like the Cygnus, the Orbital Sciences Cygnus vehicles that dock to the forward part of station, actually don't dock autonomously. We actually will capture them. They'll fly up to space station and essentially formation fly with space station. We'll command them to free drift, and we'll use the space station's robotic arm to grapple them and attach them to space station. So it's from the standpoint of a pilot, that is a fun, interesting, very dynamic kind of activity, and we're all very much looking forward to it. It's also the start of a new era, having commercial vehicles that come to station.
You talk about the start of a new era and commercial vehicles. If you could wax historic for me, if you think, in any type of human exploration throughout our history, the government sent a vehicle first, and once they figured out how to get there and back pretty safely, they opened it up to private industries. One thinks of perhaps maybe the Dutch West Indies company. Is this phase of space flight just like that? I mean, are we really moving into the real use of space?
Yeah, I think this is like you said, like the shipping in the past. This is the same thing. We will see the commercial companies taking over, industries taking over, and agencies doing what they're meant to do, exploring. So they will look ahead and go to new regions, new areas, while the commercial companies take over the known ground by now.
Mr. Kuipers, I hear that you got my cue about the Dutch part of exploration with the Dutch West Indies Corporation. Your presence on the space station really demonstrates the international mission there, and there are many here in the U.S. that might not realize that Europe has a vibrant space program. What would you like Americans to know about your work up there?
Well, actually, Europe is indeed a small partner, but very intensively involved in the space station, where a lot of the modules are built in Europe. Also, our famous cupola to look out the window, but a lot of the connecting modules, a lot of the equipment. What is very nice is that we mix it up. So we have European equipment, built European equipment in the US lab, and US equipment in the Columbus module. So that's very nice. And actually, Europe is very well integrated in the whole US segment, like the Japanese are, and I think it's nice to know for Americans that the Europeans built several parts of the space station.
One of our favorite.
And the cupola, I've been told, is probably just the crown jewel of it. All three of you, have you had a chance to sit in it and take a look out? What does it look like for some of us who might not ever get to see that view, at least not with our own eyes?
Speaking for myself, I'd say it's pretty much breathtaking. If you get a chance to fly in space and you look through 4 to 6 inches worth of glass, say on a shuttle window, for example, it is absolutely spectacular. It's almost indescribable. I don't know that people that fly in space necessarily are the ones that can best describe that experience. If you get a chance to go outside and you get a chance to look at planet Earth through a very thin polycarbonate visor and an EVA helmet, that is another whole order of magnitude more impressive. The cupola is very, very close to that. It's a place where onboard space station you can essentially get a horizon to horizon, thousands of miles view, 360 degrees. You can look straight nadir right down to planet Earth, but you can also see all the way around. So it's really, it's not comparable with anything else that we have, short of actually going outside and doing a spacewalk. And the cupola is a great place for us to stage cameras. We're doing some really neat videos and high definition pictures of auroras and the comet and Earth observations. The cameras we have right now are much faster, much more capable, and the cupola is just a wonderful place to do some of this.
Well, gentlemen, I will let you get on with your day. Thank you so much for taking some time out and coming to the microphone. We really do appreciate hearing from you guys up there, and it's certainly a cool thing to be able to sit at my desk and talk to you folks all the way up there. Please stay safe, and we'll see you on the ground when you come home. Hopefully you will enjoy the rest of your time.
I'm sure we will. Evan, thanks very much. It was great to have you on board, and all the best to you and to your listeners.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you, Space.com and Fox News Radio. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.